To some degree, every employee engages in emotion regulation. The process of identifying and modifying emotions you feel. Not everyone is equally competent at regulating their emotions. Neurotic individuals may have more trouble identifying and modifying emotions. They may also believe that their moods are beyond their control, so why bother? Research in this area has identified a beneficial outcome of these individual differences. Other research suggests that a diverse work environment prompts us to more consciously and more effectively regulate our emotions at work. Emotional intelligence is a person's ability to be self-aware, which is to recognize their own emotions and to understand them. It also includes the ability to observe and detect emotions in other people, and then to regulate our own emotions in response to theirs. People who know their emotions really well, who are in tune with how they feel in any given moment, tend to be able to read emotional cues more effectively than people who are not as in tune with their emotions. Unfortunately, there is no commonly accepted test of emotional intelligence. Researchers have recently used the Myers-Solovey-Caruso emotional intelligence test. The Mesquite provides scenarios, and test takers have to choose from a list of options which one is most appropriate. There is some evidence that emotional intelligence tests are culturally specific, that one's culture has an impact on how they score. In the workplace, people are sometimes asked to or expected to express an emotion that is in direct conflict with the emotion they are currently experiencing. Imagine you are angry or frustrated, but yet you are expected to smile and say nice things to customers. You would have to engage in what we call emotional labor to some degree. You would have to express desired emotions during your interpersonal interactions at work. For many people, emotional labor can lead to things like psychological burnout, decreased performance, and decreased job satisfaction. When the emotion you experience does not match the emotion you express, you experience emotional dissonance. There are two categories of emotional labor: surface acting and deep acting. Surface acting occurs when people display the appropriate emotions even when they don't feel those emotions. Deep acting occurs when people actually change their internal feelings to match what they are expected to express, to display. Deep acting can be incredibly exhausting and stressful, and we shouldn't expect people to do it for long periods of time. Fortunately, there are some things that we can do to mitigate the negative impacts of emotional labor. We just learned about surface acting and deep acting. Emotional suppression is another technique. It involves suppression of the initial emotion that we express. Cognitive reappraisal is another option. This involves reframing the way that we look or think about an emotional situation. Instead of thinking about it as a negative or as incredibly stressful, we think of it as a challenge or something that we're sure to overcome. By reappraising the situation, we can engage in deep acting. We can actually change how we experience the emotion and how we respond. Social sharing or venting is yet another option. There is some evidence that keeping the thoughts associated with emotions and the events at work, quote unquote, bottled up is not productive. By sharing our emotional experiences with family, friends, colleagues, even managers, people can more effectively regulate their emotions. Of course, we have to be careful what we share. Some things are not appropriate to share with people outside the organization or even with colleagues. Social sharing helps people process their emotional experiences and helps them plan a better behavioral response. Mindfulness is another effective strategy. This involves paying attention to, being aware of the present moment, what is happening, what we are experiencing, thinking, doing. This concept does not get as much attention as it should. It is correlated with all kinds of outcomes: job performance, work-life balance, sleep quality, turnover, CWBs. Organizations should also try to recruit people who are optimistic and have a positive mindset, and train their leaders to be optimistic and have a positive mindset. Together, all of these strategies create a work environment where emotions are leveraged, are used to help people get the job done, but also take care of themselves, their well-being, their emotional health. In the next part of this lecture, we're going to learn more about the relationship between affect, emotions, mood, and organizational behavior.